Welcome to A Leader's Journey, the podcast for leaders who deeply believe there is a better way to lead and desire to create their unique journey towards becoming a legacy leader. I'm your host, Shannon Hammond. Over the last 20 years as a corporate leader and leadership performance coach, I've learned that many leaders believe there is a predefined path they have to follow and struggle leaning into their unique gifts that will create lasting impact and fulfillment. They end up feeling stuck, unhappy, and unfulfilled in the day-to-day of their role, and are challenged with why, since they have experienced success in their career and in life. I'm here to help leaders think through their leadership journey, learn how to ask themselves better questions, and learn the formula to create their leadership journey by design. If you are ready to design your unique leadership journey, lead with confidence, and love the teams you lead, then you are in the right place. Let's do this. Hello, my friends and fellow leaders. I'm glad to have you back here with me this week. And if this is your first time tuning into the podcast, welcome. I'm happy that you are here. On this week's episode, I wanted to talk about how to get started in leadership and share with you some practical tips that you can take to get started as a leader. If you're already in a leadership role, I believe that these steps still apply to you and are steps that you can take to elevate your leadership to the next level. Or if you find yourself feeling stuck or stagnant in your current leadership, and maybe you just haven't been as engaged as you would like to be, I think these steps are applicable to you as well, as they might help you re-engage, reconnect, and reinvigorate your leadership journey. Often, I hear from aspiring leaders that they believe that once they get promoted into a leadership position, that is when they will be able to lead. And I find that that's the same for current leaders. Many believe once they get to the next level of leadership, then they'll start performing at that level. And while I suppose that works for some, because there is always the exception to every rule, it doesn't work for most. That type of leadership is called positional leadership, and it rarely, if ever, works. You may be familiar with positional leadership from John Maxwell's book, The 5 Levels of Leadership. And just a quick side note, if you haven't read that book and you are a leader or you desire to be a leader, this is a must read. He shares with you proven steps to maximize your potential as a leader. And at the beginning of the book, it does include an assessment that gauges your current level of leadership. So if you're unsure or just questioning or want to complete an assessment to see where it is that you're at, again, I would highly recommend that book for you. I think that is a must read for all leaders at all levels, regardless of where it is that you are at right now. Individuals are following positional leaders because they have to, based on the leader's title, not because that individual is a leader. That might be their boss or somebody else within the organization that holds a title higher than theirs, if you will, and they feel obligated or required to follow that person. And that's not what you are desiring for your leadership journey. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend it for anybody because, again, that's only going to be a short-term solution at some point. That type of leadership isn't going to work for you. And getting the promotion is not when you need to start being a leader. Your leadership journey starts now, where you're at today, and there's things that you need to do or that you can do to help yourself prepare for that. I shared a quote with my leadership community last week, and that quote was, "Leaders don't become leaders when they get promoted, but in the hours, the weeks, and months they spent preparing for it." I asked them what specifically they are doing now to prepare for a leadership role or a promotion to the next level. So that way they can really start thinking about their current actions that they are taking, and are they really serving their goals? And are they the right actions for them to be taking at this point in time to be able to achieve what they want to achieve next within their career? I can tell you, it's not about searching the job boards, casually talking to other leaders, and updating your resume. Those are necessary, but they are not the most important steps that you need to be taking. Again, necessary, so I highly recommend that you do those things, but again, not the most important. You can't just wake up one day and decide you want to be a leader, apply for a leadership role, and then expect to get the job. It might work, but more than likely, you're going to be disappointed walking away from that interview process. You have to work to establish yourself as a leader. And just like other professions, you have to build leadership skills. Doctors don't just wake up one day, decide they want to be a brain surgeon, and then get to go operate on someone. They go through extensive training, education, and skill building first. And then once they pass all of those tests and the requirements that they have to, then they can move on to surgery. That same concept applies to leadership, although we are not doing brain surgery, and kudos to anybody who is a brain surgeon. I know that that is a hard role. That's not what we're doing here as leaders, but that is the same concept. You need to prepare, build skills, and gain knowledge or education before moving into the role. In order to be a leader, you need to learn how to be a leader. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to prepare for years and years on end. While you are getting an education and building skills, becoming a leader doesn't require a 4-year degree, going back to school in the traditional sense, and a long path of learning. John Maxwell says that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. So you need to learn how you will influence others and who you desire to be as a leader. There are also some business skills you'll need to learn, and most of them you can learn on the job. And I can tell you that from personal experience. A lot of the things that you're going to do as a leader, you've got to get in it to do it, but there are things that you have to do to prepare and demonstrate that you are the right person for that role. Leadership is a lifelong journey, and you're never going to stop learning and growing. As a leader, you'll consistently invest in your growth and development because you, as a person, will be growing and things will change over the years. There are, however, a few things that you can do to get started. So today I want to share with you 4 practical steps you can take to get started as a leader. These are the things I have found in my own leadership journey and in coaching other aspiring leaders to be key in setting us up for the best path of success and helping to shift ourselves into that leader mindset. These steps are all 100% within your control, and the only thing preventing you from doing them is you. They're not dependent on anybody else, and that's one of the beauties in these steps is that you get to do them and you don't need to be bringing in others, or you don't need to be dependent on somebody else. So let's start talking about what those steps are. And you don't need to necessarily complete these 4 steps in this order. I'm just sharing these 4 steps as things that you need to do, and some of them are going to run congruent with each other as you're working through them. So the first thing that I recommend that everybody do is start creating your leadership vision. And if you tuned into our last couple episodes, I just did a 3-part series on how it is that you can work to create that leadership vision. Getting clear on your vision for your leadership journey, it's so key. It's the blueprint that will help guide you along on your leadership journey. It's what you'll turn to for guidance when decisions need to be made, when new opportunities come your way, and when things get tough. And I can tell you, of 20 years in a leadership role, they're tough times. There are 3 components to your leadership vision. It's why you want to be a leader, who you want to be as a leader, and what type of team do you want to lead. And again, I encourage you, go back and listen to the last 3 episodes as I went through how to create that the leadership vision for you, and gave you some key questions that can help get your thinking started as you're working to create that leadership vision. Another step that you can take to help get yourself started as a leader is to consistently invest in your growth and development. The most important thing that you can do for you is to study you. You need to get to know yourself, your strengths, your areas of wisdom, your fears, your energetic makeup, your decision-making strategy, all of the things that make up who you are as a person and will also make up who you are as a leader. The best tool that I have found for this is human design. I've been studying this for just a little over a year, and I've had tremendous breakthroughs in being able to learn more about myself and being able to take things that others have told me were areas of opportunity or things that were going to hold me back. And I've been able to flip them around and turn them into strengths that make me the leader that I am today. It's also something that I guide my clients through how they can study about themselves, some tools and resources that are available, and coach them through what comes up for them as they are working to navigate through it. I also believe that leaders need to be readers. There are so many incredible leaders that have gone before us that we'll never get to meet or mentor with. So we can easily learn from them through reading the books that they have written and immersing ourselves in the knowledge and wisdom that they have to share. Now, I will tell you, it's not just about picking up a book and reading it. You need to apply what you are reading. You need to put it in action. One of the things that I recommend is that you find one thing from each book at minimum that you are going to implement. It's not about taking all the things, but there might be something or one thing in there that resonates. It's not about the quantity of books that you read. It's about the quality of the actions that you're going to take in implementing what you learn. So look for that one thing as you are going through it that really resonates with you. I also think that a piece of consistently investing in your growth and development is to have that growth plan. You have to have a plan for how you will invest in your growth. Again, it's not just about the quantity of the items that are in your plan. It's about quality and finding what you need to be learning, where you need to grow, and consistently putting effort and taking action to get better every single day. And when I say get better, it's the small actions, the 1% better today than you were yesterday, not attempting to make this quantum leap overnight. So think about that as you are putting together your growth plan. Because remember, as I shared before, leadership is a lifelong journey and you're never going to stop growing and learning, and your growth plan should be growing alongside of you. Another step that I think that you can take to get yourself started as a leader is lead yourself. You can't lead others if you can't lead yourself, and others won't follow you if you are not leading you. Do you know and are you regularly practicing the habits and behaviors that make you your best? Are you learning from your failures and using them as opportunities for growth? If you take a look back over your days and reflect on each of your days and weeks and months, are your actions and behaviors worthy of following? Would you follow you based on how it is that you're showing up? It all starts with leading yourself, demonstrating that you can do that, and going first so that way you can effectively lead others and be able to take the wisdom and knowledge that you've learned about yourself and be able to share it with them to help them grow in their journey of whatever it is that they are trying to achieve in their career. And the last step that I want to share with you, which I find is the most critical step and one that often individuals don't think about because they get too caught up in the title that they are currently holding today. And that's to lead where you are in your current role. We think we need a title to lead, and that couldn't be further from the truth. The best leaders don't wait for a title to lead, they just do it. Right where they are and in all aspects of life, not just work. Leading is their passion. It's who they are, not what they do. The best way to learn leadership is to get into action and start leading. The leaders that get promoted, they've demonstrated in their current role their ability to lead, not just tell others what they can and cannot do, or tell others that they can be a leader. Everyone has the ability to lead now in their current role. The only thing or the only person that's stopping you is you. When you start leading in your current role and start leading yourself, your opportunities for promotion become greater. You are demonstrating to others within your organization that you have the ability and the desire to lead, and you have a platform in which you get to showcase your skills. Leading in your current role allows you to practice your purpose without having that official responsibility for other people. stepping into how you want to lead mentally and emotionally now. And you get to practice your leadership so that way you can start working on mastering your skills. If you think back to creating your leadership vision and creating your growth plan and investing in your growth, when you're leading in your current role, you're going to be able to easily and quickly identify what are your strengths, what are your fears, what are your areas of opportunity, and you're going to get to be able to work on them, which gives you a head start above anybody else that is going to be applying for that leadership role that you're looking for. And when things don't go the way that you planned, you have that opportunity to refine it and keep working on it. Again, identify those areas of growth for yourself. You need to allow yourself to feel confidence in your ability to lead before you are in that leadership role. Because when you get promoted, if you don't believe in you and your ability to lead that team, your team isn't going to believe in you either. It all starts with you. So those are the 4 things that, again, I've found in my leadership journey and in coaching other aspiring leaders that help set them up for success. I'd love to know what you are currently working on in your leadership journey and what you found to work best for you as you were getting started as a leader or when you were getting started as a leader. If you want, you can hop on over to my private Facebook community. There's a link down in the show notes for it, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn and share with me what you're working on or what you have found best or what you have found to help set you up for success as a leader. Until next time, lead with confidence and show up every day as the leader you are designed to be. Thanks for listening to A Leader's Journey podcast. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you're excited to learn more, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in next week for another exciting leadership lesson. I'd love to help you level up your leadership, achieve the goals you desire, and design your unique leadership journey. So click the link in the show notes to schedule a free Level Up Your Leadership session. During this time, we will define where you are in several key areas of leadership, where you desire to be, and how you can level up your leadership. You don't need to do this alone, so let's chat today and get your journey started. Don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn or in the A Leader's Journey community on Facebook, and share this episode with another leader so we can all learn and grow together. That's all for this episode, and I'll see you next week. Until then, lead with confidence, show up every day as the leader you are striving to be, and make the decision today to level up your leadership this year.